Okay, so continuing from where we left off, for this particular model, right, I've already added some more edge loops to tighten up certain details, and also rotated the jet intake slightly to match the reference that I have that I downloaded from B-Link. I also tweaked the canopy section a little bit, just to get the shape to look proper. And since this is actually made out of duplicate half, I'm beginning to see some of the errors just by looking at the references that I have. So I managed to find a few more references like this front view, and then this very high resolution detail of the undercarriage that is open for the aircraft. So right now I'm looking at the spine area here, and I realize that the spine here is relatively parallel, and it's got a very hard edge right about here. So I'm going to try to model in this detail here, and from this midsection here it tapers down, and then there's the width of this pipe, this long cylindrical section, right, looks quite constant. So I'm going to try to fix that over here, so you can see that I don't really have that shape over here. And in order to give it a stronger pipe or tighter pipe section, I'm going to switch back to level 1 first, and I'll try to straighten this area here, and then possibly add another edge loop right about here to support that loop. Okay, so I will insert possibly, okay, before I insert the edge loop, let me just fix the straightness of this edge first. So I'm going to select this edge around all the way to here, holding down the shape, double click, then using the scaling tool, I can straighten this edge loop, and then use the move tool and then push it back so that we have a tighter cross section right about here. So at this point, let me see whether if I press number 3, whether I can recreate this circular section. Okay, so this extended section here is causing this area to round off a bit. So let's look at the reference again. Let me just find another section with a nice top view, like this one over here. Okay, so we can see that it tapers in like this, quite tightly, and then there's also a very unique taper shape at this tail section. So I'm just going to try to approximate the shape here, looking like this. And I think I can add one more edge loop here, right between this section here. So middle mouse click. Okay, problem right now I have is that when you insert edge loop, if this messes up, it's not straight like this. Just undo this, and we're going to reset the tool. So shift right mouse click, go over to the multi-cut tool, and try resetting the tool, and then try inserting the edge loop again. Shift right mouse click, multi-cut, and then middle mouse click, and then it should be straighter. Okay, again, it still seems that something is messing this up, so let me undo that. So sometimes we will have to do a bit of adjustments. Okay, let me go back to the non-full screen. We're going to try to freeze transformation for this this shape over here. So let's try freezing it. Okay, because we have an instance, we can't freeze this. Let me delete away this instance, and then I'll try freezing this again. Alright, then edit duplicate special. Okay, I'm gonna reset my duplicate special, and then in my scale in the x-axis -1, and then instance, and then duplicate special, so we get the other half again. So I want to try inserting the edge loop here again, so hopefully the tool will behave. So middle mouse click, and again I'm seeing this weird behavior going on here, so I might have to manually try to push this back, okay, which I don't really want to do this. Yeah, it is not supposed to cut like that. See, it's collapsing here quite badly, so let me undo that. I want to see whether my modeling toolkit, is it because the edge flow is on? It's not. Let me see whether it's the multi-cut tool. Does it need to be reset again? Okay, reset the tool one more time. And let's see whether this works again. Okay, instead of middle mouse, I want to try the manually put it in the center. But actually, it's making it worse. So I have no idea why this is happening. So let me check the object scale again. I see, is it something to do with this? Let me delete away the history. Shift D. And let's try one more time. Yes, so deleting the history fixes the problem. So I managed to insert the edge loop right now in the center here. So let me undo that because I want to put this precisely in the center. I'm going to press number 3 to go to subdivided mode. Then holding down Control and then middle mouse click. All right, so yeah, this is what I should be getting. So now I have this nice extra edge loop here. Go back to select. I can select this section all the way to right about here, and then manually push this out so that we have a nice cylindrical section over here. And this one, just have to manually push this edge loop here, gonna push it in slightly so that we have this round cylindrical tube-like section that's running in the center, spine that's running in the center. So if we take a look at the reference again, okay, we know that the spine section spreads out just after the vertical stabilizer here. So we need to spread it out right about here. Okay, this section here. So this area here needs to be wider. So I need to select this and just manually pull it wider. And I believe this one should be wider as well. So you can see a nice taper that is coming out. Now I'm not sure whether the top view has any reference for me to taper it out. So let me just assign this with a modeling material first. Need to do that. It's supposed to be only this side modeling material. And yes, we do have a slight reference over here, but it's a little bit hard to see. Okay, let me see from the top, from the front view, because I have the front view reference here. Yeah, there we go. So we have this curve over here that we can reference. So let's go back to the top view again. I'm going to hide this jet engine. Just press H to hide it. And look for this curve section here. You can see that this area actually spreads out quite a bit. So let me go to vertex level and maybe grab these and then spread it out until it follows the reference that we have here. Maybe these three over here, and pull it out like that. So now everything has a nice shape to it. Okay, the reference is a little bit off over here. This one needs to be wider slightly. Okay, this one looks about right. Alright, so now we have the tail section tweaked. Okay, I'm going to set the material of this section back to modeling material again. Sorry, solid material. And I'm going to unhide the display. Okay, so now you can see I managed to pull this out. That means this section here needs to be pulled out as well. Okay, right now I'm just eyeballing this, so trying to make this nice and round. Until it reaches the cockpit section here. Okay, so this one I have to manually push this up. Okay, this vertex over here should be overlapping each other like that. Yeah. Then you can use the sliding tool so that. Okay, I think this one needs to go in a little bit more. Okay, and I think this loop here needs to be straightened, so let's go to level 1 here. Actually, that is pretty straight already, just that this whole section here is pulled out, that's why it looks stretched out. Okay, so I think we can revisit this section later. Right now I'm going to look at the sides here for the aircraft. If I take a look at the reference, okay, I think we got pretty much as, okay, this area, this transition area here, let me just try to tweak this area first. Should be much rounder and smoother. Here is, I think it looks a little bit too tight. Here, these two needs to flow out slightly, and then this one going a little bit more. Okay, now I'm going to take a look at the sides now. So I'm going to temporarily hide these jet engines again. Maybe I'll put them in a different layer, which I already did, so I can actually hide them and review them. So this section here, right, I need to add in another edge loop that goes around here, or at least extrude this. At this stage, right, I can consider removing the wings, make the wings separate. Okay, so that I can focus on this area a little bit better. So I'm gonna maybe remove the wings. Okay, so select the wingtip here. Then remember this is at level 1. At level 3, this is what it looks like. So shift full stop to increase the selection until I reach to the wing section here, like that. And then I'm going to detach them using the detach tool or extract tool. So now it becomes a separate object. We got the fuselage and then we have the wing. I'm just going to assign it with a new material. Blend material, and then give it a different color, slightly different color. And then I can put these this wing in its own layer. Okay, just put this one here, and then I'll call this wings. Not wings, but wings. Then I'll duplicate special so that we have the wings on the other side. I want to include this one as well. So right mouse click, add to selected objects. Okay, so I can now hide the wings. Alright, so good. So I can now concentrate on this section here. And if I press number 3 to subdivide this, you can see we definitely need to insert one edge loop that runs across here, and also another edge loop that runs here, so that we can flatten this surface. And not to mention this area here as well. So there are a couple of edge loops that I will need to be applying, and you'll probably run all across here as well. So let's take a look at the reference, and you will see on the side itself, this section here is quite flat. Okay, you can see this section here, just when the wing is coming out, is quite flat, so I need to insert an edge loop to flatten this out. Okay, so this is the nature of subdivision modeling. So let's go to level 1, and let's take a look over here and see what else can we do to fix this area here. Okay, I think what we can do is we can remove these two faces, and we'll try to extend this face so that it comes all the way here instead. So I will delete away this face, and select this edge, then move this out here. Okay, I want to disconnect this face as well, and so that I can join maybe these two vertices together. So holding down the V, and then we snap it over here. Select these two vertices and merge them together. Okay, so now I want to see how do I fill up this gap. So I need to have one edge that runs all the way across here. Okay, so I can select this edge, and then holding on the shift, and then extrude, and push this down here. And holding down the V, and then snap to this vertex, then shift right mouse and merge these vertices. Okay, and good. So now we have an extra edge loop that we can run across the bottom here, all the way across. Okay, I just want to see where my edge will flow later on. Okay, because I really want to make this flat, so basically need to have an edge loop that runs across here. Okay, I want to see whether I can do that here. Okay, let me just hide my reference. They are very distracting. Okay, so I'll insert one edge loop here. So insert one edge loop right about here. Okay, this will make the whole section much tighter. Okay, but I'll have to come back to fix this area here later on. Okay, so this edge loop actually ends here. Okay, I do not want all these edge loops to be running all over the place. Let me undo that. That doesn't look good to me. Okay, maybe I'll close the gap for this one for now. Yeah. Okay, I'm going to extrude one edge here. Select this edge, then extrude it downwards. Then holding down the V, snap it here, merge these two vertices. Holding down the V and then merge these two. And we'll try to solve the topological flow here somewhere. Okay, let's take a look at it. When it's number 3, this is what it looks like. Okay, so I need this edge here to be much tighter, so I'll select this edge loop here, and maybe perhaps this edge loop that runs across here, and then this one here as well, and let's apply a bevel. You can see now with the extra bevel edge, this edge is much tighter. And now I'm looking at this section here, I'm considering whether I should okay, let me go back to level 1. Okay, because this is a multi-sided face right now because of the bevel. Let's see, how can I reflow this? Let me get rid of this triangular face here. Delete. And select this vertex and delete that. Okay, good. So now we have two edges here which I can just bridge. Nice. So now if I subdivide this, yeah, this area now looks much better. And we can close these two now. So shift right mouse click and then bridge. Alright, so because we create a bevel, there's going to be some weird topology going on around here, and so we're going to fix this over here. So okay, this one is a four-sided, it's still alright, but this one, okay, we will have to find a way to fix this. And since we have a triangular face here, okay, I'm just gonna see what I can cut across here using a knife tool. Cut here to here and press enter. So technically I've created a four-sided face here, so if I subdivide this, yeah, everything should subdivide nicely. Okay, now we have this flat edge, okay, relatively flat. Okay, this one needs to be flatter somehow. We go to level 1 and let's tweak this area here a little bit. Alright, so I'm going to select these faces here. I know that they are really flat, so I'm going to use my scaling tool and then try to flatten them as much as I can. Let me go to the top view. I'm going to bring back my reference again. And there we go. Basically these faces here that I really want it to be really flat here. Okay, I can't really see it from the side here because it's underneath the aircraft. So I guess there's a slight taper inwards here. Alright, so I'm going to leave it at that. Okay, yeah, so we just want to hide the wings temporarily and then we'll see how that works. I'm going to press number 3 and then see, and yes, it doesn't look too bad. Okay, now this section area here, I'm going to check. Okay, so this whole section here, you can see the vertical stabilizer that comes down flush against the elevon. Alright, and the elevon here, you can see there is a triangular shape that extends outwards. So let's take a look at the aircraft from a different angle, especially the tail section there. Yeah, so underneath here you can see there's this extension from the side. Alright, so this entire piece of elevator is a movable surface, so I would say that this whole thing might be connected. Alright, so might have to remodel the tail surfaces here. Alright, and yeah, just to make sure it matches. So this, and then this surface is, if I'm not mistaken, this one should go in further until it is flushed against the surface of the vertical stabilizer, like that. Okay, now for this tail surface, we can see that because of the reference that we can see this extension that comes out from the side of fin, so we have to model this section here. And this one is actually connected, right? So let's go to the top view. We have good reference for the drawing. So this part here needs to tilt out forward. So I'm going to go to level 1, and I'm going to insert one more edge loop right about in the middle section here. So I'll middle mouse click here, and then I will go to grab the vertices at this section. Maybe I will probably extrude another section here, and then since this is the end of the movable surface, I need to insert one more edge loop here. Middle mouse click. Good. Right now I have the faces, right, to pull out the extension here. So let me just isolate this surface. So to isolate is to isolate that section here. So let's go to perspective view. So we know the extension comes out from these faces, 3, 4, right about here. So I'll need to extrude the face and then just pull them out vertically like this. So now I'm going to go to the top view, then get out of the isolate view. Okay, I'm going to temporarily assign it with a modeling material, which is semi-transparent, and we can readjust this to match the shape of our tail fin. Okay, the vertical stabilizer needs to come out slightly like that. Same for this one, right about here. Okay, and I'm going to grab these vertices, and these actually, all the vertices at the end, and then pull it out until it's right here. Then this section right about here. And finally this one, we can just pull this one down here until it's nice and flat. Okay, I realize there's a taper over here. We can extrude this later on when we are refining this. But actually now that we have so many sections at the tail tip here, we can actually start to pull out this section. Let's go to the top view, and then we just pull out this section and grab the middle section here. Just make it round a little bit. Like so. Okay, good. So now I'm going to reassign this back to the solid material again. Okay, I'm going to duplicate this body surface again. I'm going to use the duplicate special so we can have a preview of what everything looks like. Okay, cool. Now we have our stabilizer, or rather the entire movable surface. Yeah, so when you subdivide it, this is what you're going to get. So if we want the corners here to be tighter, of course we need to insert more edge loops. Okay, we need to bevel this corner here a bit more. So let me just go back to isolate the selection. Okay, so the problem is this: when I press number 3, this is what it becomes. So, okay, so we need to basically bevel the outer edges, the corners a bit. So what we can do is we can select the outer edges that form the corners, right, like that. And I'm gonna come over here, continue to select this. These two over here, and then later we will have some issues trying to fix the area, the corners around here. Okay, I'm just going to apply a bevel first and see what happens. So shift right mouse click and then apply a bevel. And okay, it doesn't look too bad. Everything looks fine. There's some triangular faces here which I can deal with. Okay, so if I press number 3, I should have a tighter edge over here now. And I think this works. Okay, I don't think I need to do anything else. We can have 1 or 2 triangles over here. That should be fine. We got a multi-sided face over here, so we can fix that by doing an edge loop. So I'm going to insert one edge loop over here. Shift right mouse click and then middle mouse click here, and then we will select these 2 vertices and connect them. Connect components, go to the other side, select these 2, press G, repeat last command, and we should get rid of that. I got a couple of triangular faces here, but I think we can leave those alone. And these vertices over here, I think they can be scaled up slightly so that we can form a much nicer transition for the taper. These two here, I'm gonna just pull them out slightly a little bit more. We're looking at the angle here. Maybe oops, not these two, only these group here. And just use a scale to scale it up until we see a nice transition. Okay, so if I press number 3, right now I have a much nicer section here. I need to add one more edge loop here because I need to have a hard corner here. So I will add one more edge loop. Or actually, I do not want the edge loop to continue to flow too much over there. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to use a knife tool, cut from here to here to here. Then all the way to here. You can click and then drag and connect it to here. I'm gonna do insert one edge loop here. Right in the middle here. Then I'm going to use to connect to, well, actually this will work because this one's already formed a 4-sided triangle. So if I press number 3 now, yeah, so now I have much harder edge over here. And honestly, I don't think I need this edge loop here anymore. Okay, but let's see what happens if I remove this edge loop here. Control delete. It is a triangular face, but I think that is fine. Yeah, so now I have a nice tight edge over here. Okay, so now I'm gonna get out of isolate select, and we can see now we have a much nicer section over here. And also we can see that we definitely need to pull this section down some more. I got a triangular face over here. Okay, I'm gonna hide this and try to fix this section here. Let's go to edge mode and pull this down further. Okay, this weird vertex is too far. Just push it in a little bit, like that. So this vertex, I'm gonna push it inwards here, like so. Actually, there are 2 of them. Okay, so I'll just pull this out. Alright, I believe this area here extends forward until it connects to the lever of the movable surface, which is, let's take a look at another close-up of the tail section. Yeah, this section here. So you can see this whole piece goes out all the way until it reaches this section. I believe this whole thing is connected so that when the whole piece tilts up and down, this whole section will go inside this recess area. So we can actually extend out this whole root section just above the aircraft stabilizer. So let me unhide the stabilizer again. Yeah, so this whole section here, we can maybe slide the faces here, and maybe does it go below as well? Okay, so this one, I'll look at the reference. Okay, the bottom here looks quite streamlined. There's nothing that extends above here. It's mostly on top here. Alright, so I will move this vertex or this edge up until it's almost flushed here. But from the top section here, right, we will definitely have to extrude another section here, and edge should taper down there. So later we will use this section to create that recess area. Okay. Okay, so you can see this is very streamlined, so I will most probably, let's see, I can find somewhere. Okay, this part here is actually quite straight and flat. So that means I will have to grab this edge here, really push it down, because it's nice and flat like that. Okay, I will have to find a way to increase the extrude this section later on. Yeah, but this is roughly what I'll be doing for now. So you can see this is the section that, yeah, I'll probably refine this a little bit later, but right now I'll just take advantage of the lower resolution of the overall model to just refine this area here. Okay, and then this face over here, we can definitely pull it out slightly. And as you can see, we are starting to get this section looking pretty close to what we want. So yeah, modeling is about details. You have to pay attention to the actual craft itself. But I'm going to get rid of the history. We have plenty of history here. Alt-Shift-D, Alt-Shift-D, just get rid of the history. And I want to save another file, save, increment and save. So this will be version 5 of this file. Okay, so how far are we into the recording? Okay, we're about 37 minutes. Okay, let's see where else can we refine. So I'm looking at this. This one looks a little bit too low here. So this vertex here, I need to push it out slightly. When you press number 3, you want it to be nice and round. Okay, and this part here looks a little bit collapsed, so I'm going to pull it out. So at the end of the day, because I don't have the I don't have a very accurate reference. In fact, it will be very helpful if I actually have the physical model so I can study it. So right now I'm just modeling this purely on visual sources that are available based on the images. So as I've heard from another master modeler, there probably will be a time you probably will have touched all the vertices and moved them to location that you want. Okay, so then maybe one more thing that I want to refine is the what do we call this streaks here. Okay, if you take a look, okay, I don't know why I think I accidentally created a cylinder, and then sometimes I have created a bunch of other items. Okay, so you notice here, the front section here is very, very sharp. If you look at the actual aircraft itself, the leading edge of this strake here is very, very sharp. You can see it's almost razor sharp. So I'll probably want to compress these vertices down, or these edges. So just select them like that and use scale and then just put them closer together until I get a nicer sharp edge like this. Yeah, this one looks good to me now. These two, maybe I'll just in between these two and just sharpen it down slightly like that. Yeah. Yeah, this one looks much better now. And then this section here, it needs a little bit be flatter. And yeah, because we have a lot of subdivisions right now, right now I'm considering whether I just delete them and rebuild the surface here. We can use the sculpt tool to try to smooth this out. In fact, that's what I'm going to try to do now. So I'm going to select this polygon mesh, see whether I can smooth this a bit. Yeah, for smoothing you need to just paint over the cross where the vertices cross. Yeah, this one seems to work well. So I'm just gently painting over the cross section area here, just to flatten it. I have to be very careful here because you can see now I introduce a gap over there. So let me undo. Okay, and yeah, it looks alright. Okay, I don't really like this section here, so I'm gonna get out of sculpting mode and I'll manually try to push the vertices back myself. So you want to have this nice and rounded curve area, whichever you look. So if you see the flow start to look a bit weird and odd, then you can just go in and tweak it. Okay, I think for today's session, I think I will stop at this stage and we will continue to refine this further. And I think the next stage I want to probably do is definitely we need more edge loops around this section here to flatten it some more. Okay, so yeah, before I end, yeah, you can see here we have a multi-sided face here. Okay, we can fix this by inserting one more edge loop that runs across here. So let me go to level 1. Then, okay, we also have a multi-sided face here that terminates at this section because of the bevel that we've done. Okay, before I do that, let's see how much flatter can I make this area here. Yeah, I could add one more edge loop around here. Alright, then I'll bevel this. Okay, reduce the amount here. Holding down the control and then adjust a tight bevel here. Okay, I created a bunch of multi-sided faces, but we will try to reflow this so that we can get back 4-sided faces. But by doing that, I should have a much harder edge around here. Okay, before I finish that, I really need to fix this topology here. So let me just isolate. Oops. Need to go to object mode. And then isolate this. Okay, so now let's take a look at this section here and see what can we do. Let's go to level 1 and see. Okay, I'm going to select this edge and control delete. That will dissolve that. And yeah, maybe I'll just control delete this one as well and see what can I do to fix the flow here. Okay, maybe for this I can have it flow upwards here, so I'll use my knife tool to cut from here to here and continuously cut from here all the way back here. So this will give me a much harder edge, and I can actually terminate here because this is actually a triangular face. Alright, good. So I fixed that flow over there. And what about here? Okay, maybe I will select this edge, control delete this. Okay, so I can connect these two. Alright, so I managed to make these four-sided, and then these are four-sided now. So right now we end up with this one. Yeah, again, I guess I still need to cut across here. Okay, so everything is fixed, everything is four-sided. And because of the extra edge loop here, now here looks a little bit tighter. And also, yeah, because we pushed this out earlier on, that's why we have this hard edge. Maybe I'll just add one edge loop here. That is for the, yeah, one more edge loop around here to make this part here tighter, because we need this section for the elevator. Okay, I'm going to unhide the jack intakes. Show, isolate, select. Just play with these sections here. Alright, so this section here looks much better now. It's nice and flat, and we have enough detail to later on create the cavity to put in the undercarriage. Right, and then I think I should probably stop now, and I will reserve another session to refine this further. Okay, so I'll stop the video now.